Hey guys, it's Trisha, the Left-Handed Stitcher. I'm here today to do my end of year 2021 WIP parade. Yay! I love WIP parades. So that's why I do mine, because I know there's lots of people out there that love to see them. So let's just get into it. I've already started this one once. I forgot to hit record. So, alright, so there is my stats for this year. So I carried over from last year 36 WIPs. I had 11 new starts. I finished 24 projects. I had no abandoned projects. I FFO'd 5 of my finished items. Some were from this year and some were from previous years. I'm carrying over 23 WIPs to this next year. So actually I finished one more WIP than I am carrying over. And I attended 3 retreats. It was StitchCon and then Blackbird Designs at Craft Gallery retreat in September, and I went to the El Paso cruise, Camp Stitchmore. It was a blast. Alright, so I have arranged my WIPs in alphabetical order because that's what I like to do, and I only have maybe 2 that you haven't seen before, so excuse me, those are the only 2 that I'll have to tell you, the project bag and needle minder stuff, because the other ones that you've already seen in my previous WIP parade, that stuff is still the same. If you have any questions, just post them in the comments, please. So, this is my Antique Celtic Sampler by Elizabeth's Needleworks Designs. So there it is. If you may remember, those 2 birds, I'm not stitching them like that. I have something else I want to put there, but I have to move this over, so I might have to redesign that little motif, but I'll make it work. So there's the finished one. I already took it off the Q-snap when I thought I was recording. But here we go. Here's what it looks like. So making good progress on it. Putting some stitches in, or I'm kind of trying to outline the dragon so that I can just do some fill-in whenever he comes up again. So there we are. So my vital stats on this is stitched on 32 count cream Lugana 2/2 with all the called for overdyed threads, because this is nothing but overdyes. I started this one March of 2019 for the Magical Stitches prompt arithmancy, because words and numbers, I think, or just numbers, and there's numbers right there. There we are. Well, I don't need to count them because I already told you how many there are. And I would lose count anyway. So we're just gonna motor along. Alright, so the next one is my Azure Mermaid. So that's what she's gonna look like. And she got some good progress this past year. I am finished with the bottom half with all the cross stitches. So now I just have to move up to the top and start her top half. And then do all of the beads, the plethora of beads. So she's gonna get some love this month because she got called for WIP Go, and she is one of my Bringo prompts for something sparkly. Is. Alright, so this next one is one of my big ones. It is my Compass Rose by Draco Lair Creations, which this is out of print. So if you want one, you're going to have to find one on eBay or Etsy. So here is what it's looking like right now. And this one's not coming out of the Q-snap just yet. Once I hit my full border, I will do a clip of it when it's out of the Q-snap. But it's big, and it takes me a while to get all that fabric in this Q-snap. So as you can see, I'm working down. So I have the top and one side completely done, and I worked across about 1/3, half-ish. And so now I'm working my way down. I'm about here, and then I just have to hit the corner and come across and meet up. And then I will do all the... Now I can't just do the back stitching on the border. I have to stitch these little points that touch, and then I can do the back stitch on the border before I move into the center, because that's the rule. Don't back stitch until all the stitches that touch those stitches are done. Okay, so this is being stitched on 32 count Jobelin from Color and Cotton and a color called Sandstone. This was started May of 2019 for a Magical Stitches prompt of the Tri-Wizard homework, and it was a WIP list pick. I don't know why. I must have made it a start for the WIP list. Well, I guess I must have made it a start, so there we go. I purchased this pattern directly from the designer's website sometime around 2013. It took me a while to get started on this because this is a big one and it's a very complicated pattern, but it's gonna be gorgeous. So let's get this stuff put away really quick. I'm looking forward to making some progress on this year. It's one of those ones I want to see how you know, I don't want it done. I do want it done, but I'm a process stitcher. I'm not a product stitcher. I'm good with finishes, but I don't feel the drive to finish a project. I just enjoy the journey. But I am anxious to see how this one turns out. I think it's going to be amazing. It barely fits in that project bag, and that's the biggest project bag I have. Okay. So the next one is my DMC Rose. Gotta find where do I put the picture. Okay, we're just gonna, oh, I see where the picture is. It's inside of the Q-snap. So this is what it looks like. So gorgeous. So gorgeous. It is a pattern just called DMC Rose. I saw this being stitched by Stitching in South Africa, and I fell in love. It took me a while to find the kit, but I did, and I started it. Oh, look out. So many pinks, and it is just a gorgeous, gorgeous pattern. Love it. With all that shading. So this is how far I've gotten. I got quite a few stitches left, but it does lend itself to many prompts, so I expect to see some good progress this year. So this was is being stitched on 18 count white Aida Easy Count by Wishelt. I'm using all the kit floss, and I started it May of 2020. It was a Stitch Mania 2020 project. This one just makes me happy whenever I get a chance to work on it. Go. I need to do a little arranging. Okay, so this one is my DMC Willow. It hit a good spot. Trying to figure out, I don't have the little picture. Not a very good picture anyway. It's a really tiny picture. So it's not in there, and it's not there. I will have to make a note. Find DMC Willow picture. Okay, so I have finished. I'm gonna have to get up for this one. I have finished all of the cross stitches on it, the main cross stitches. So all I have left is some background shading stitches. But there it is. So cool. Love it, love it, love it, love it. It's so pretty. It's on 14 count Aida. It's the AMC Aida color number 738, which is no longer produced. Because I tried to find it in a 16 or an 18 count, and it couldn't. So this is stitched with all DMCs. See if I get up a little closer on part. Look at that. Alright, so all I have left to do is, there is shading stitches that literally just cut, all over the place. So I have to decide on, I have to do some test stitches to find out if I do want to do, okay, this is stitched my t-shirt, it's flamingos and a pineapple. It's so cute. Alright, so I'm doing some test stitches to see if, since this is stitched 3 strands over an Aida square, I need to find out if the shading looks good with stitching at full cross 2 strands, half cross 2 strands, or maybe full cross 1 strand. So test stitching in my future in order to finish this one. So this one is being stitched with all the DMC 3/1. I started it sometime in 2017, and I think it might have been my only Mania start that year. So now that I've gotten to the point where it's at, I can put it in a normal Q-snap and, well, I don't know. Maybe I'll put it back into the big Q-snap that I had been working on it in, because my plan is to stitch in columns. Just stitch down maybe 1 or 2 columns and do it that way, because the stitches are, I mean, it's one color but it's really confetti-ish in its placement. So I think in order to help me keep track of where it is, it's just, I think it'd be nice just to stitch down in columns. We'll try it, we'll see how it works. So there's my DMC willow. And that one is getting some love this month. I forget. It might be one of my Bringle prompts. So, alright. Just moving on. This is find my picture. There it is. This is Glendon Place, Elizabeth, part of the Baroque Beauties collection. So sparkly when it's done. We're talking massive amount of beads and krennic in this one. But I'm stitching it on a 32 count Lugana Picture This Plus called Petals, but I don't think it's a 32 count. I think it was mislabeled and I counted it and it probably started, it's not a 32. I am really hating my coverage, but I mean, it's not so bad. It's just when I got my readers on, it's not the coverage I'm used to. So it's somewhere between 32 and 28. It might be kind of a 30-ish. But I've decided I'm gonna grid her. I'm gonna grid her before the next time she gets picked up. I'm gonna put my grid in, because I'm having a dickens of a time keeping track of my placing, and because I'm stitching all the DMC first and then I'm doing the krennic, it's gonna be a picture of this, it's gonna be petite treasure braid. There's gaps. I gotta keep leaving gaps for the krennic, the petite treasure braid. So this is one that I feel the need. So it's gonna get gridded. So the stats on this, so a 32 count, it's more of a 30 count. All of the call for DMC and beads and petite treasure braid. I started it May of 2020 for Stitch Mania 2020. So just quickly, no, I will wait until I do my end of year wrap up, or should I just do it now? I'll just do it now, and I'll repeat it if I have to. Stitch Mania this year, my plan is to do a combination of the Blimey Cat method and another method. I forget the name or who. So if there's a project whose anniversary is on the date, it gets stitched on that date, and on the other days I have the option to start something new. So the next one, this is a new start for this year. So we'll go ahead and pull everything out of the bag. And this is Creations by Mary Rose bag that I bought from Etsy. Let's see if I can get a good... There's the inside fabric. And there's... Oh, it's so pretty. I love this print. So pretty. Okay, so this project is my Florographica by Jan Hicks Creates. So there's a picture, and here is, find my orientation. There's my start. So I started this at Stitch Mania this year with, I started as a start along with Maria Kutzner. I sat next to her, and she is freaking, okay, I say freaking, you know, I'm sorry, because that's how I like to describe stuff. She's a total sweetheart. I love her, loved sitting next to her. So this is, so my plan is to stitch like one strand of each color to make sure that the colors work well on my chosen fabric. So this is being stitched on 32 count Lugana by Stitch Me. The color is called Dirty Chalkboard, and I'm using all of the called for Fancy Floss. I think she stitched it originally in Vicki Clayton Silks, but she had overdyed cottons listed as well, so that's what I chose to use. The grime guard was made by me, and the needle minder is from an Etsy store called the Ivory Needle Store. So it's a little Hello Kitty. I love my Hello Kitty. Ooh, to let you know, I'm looking up because I put it up somewhere. One of the things I got in my diamond painting, if you don't watch the diamond painting videos, I don't blame you if you're not a diamond painter. I'm not hurt that you don't watch them, but a lot of people love them, so I do them. I got this little compact mirror that's a Hello Kitty. So she's gonna get done at some point, so nice little mirror on the inside. It's gonna be so cute. Okay, let's go and put her back up there. Okay, so like I said, it started the 12th of June 2021 at StitchCon. So I'm looking forward to making progress on this year. You know, I'm sorry, that's one of those things that I'm probably going to say with most of my projects, because I love them. There was the first bin done, and we move on to the next bin. So this is my Fox and Friend. So there's what it will look like. So cute. So cute. So here is where, look at him. Okay, so the fox is completely done. Look at him, he's so cute. So I've finished him up and I've started slogging away on the border. So there he is. So this is by Teresa Kogut. It's being stitched on 32 count Murano in a sage color. I got a big bulk of it on eBay or Etsy last year. So, and it needed a green background, and so that's what I chose. Started May of 2020, and it was a Stitch Mania 2020 start. So cute. I love him. I love him. So this is on my Baringo for a prompt, something with a house, because there's a tiny little house right there. Since I finished my winter house, the tiny modernist pattern that I finished. Since I finished that one, that was my only house. So I gotta take it where I can get it. Something stuck to it. I don't know where that came from. Okay, I'll start filling up this bucket down here, or bin, and I pull from the front. So the next one is my growth rings. And let's see. This is what it sort of looks like. This is what the pattern looks like when it was stitched with the called for floss. It's by Ink Circles, growth rings. And card. Here's where I'm at. So I'm probably not, you're saying not a whole lot of progress, but I pulled out this area and started restitching it. So let's see if I can show you the pink that was there was highly variegated, and I did not really care for the difference between the highs and the lows. So by my floss, I chose to replace it with Dinky Dye's Pink Tourmaline, and I think it's working really well. It's a very subtle variegation, so when this is done, I think it's going to be gorgeous. So I put some of the blue stitches in, I pulled out all the pink stitches, and I'm in the process of restitching the pink stitches. So, and this one doesn't fit into most prompts, so when I do have a prompt that it fits, I put it in there for it, because I love this one. Alright, so let's move my needle minder up and out of the way and give you just a little bit more gander at it. So the stats on this is being stitched on 32 count Lugana in pearl gray, and the threads are Dinky Dye's Sapphire and now Dinky Dye's Pink Tourmaline. Let's see if I can get that there. That's what it's, the spelling, I'm pretty sure I'm saying it right, but who knows. I started this one on May of 2020, so Stitch Mania 2020 start. This one is another one that just makes me happy. But what I love about this pattern is how it's symmetrical, but it's asymmetric at the same time. So it has a symmetrical shape, but each one of these parts has a different design in them. So each one of these lobes here are a different design. It's awesome. I love it. Okay, the next one. This one did not get any stitches this year. This is my herding cats. So, if you want to know the story behind this, should I make you go to my, or can I just quickly go over it for this one? I'll just quickly go over it for this one. So if you're new, I started this as a color challenge, and then Magical Stitches had the watch and stitch, so this one lent itself to it very nicely. So this one just kind of hangs around, and whenever I need to just stitch a small thing, whether it's just a small thing or they're doing a color challenge. I am not doing the DMC, random DMC challenge with this because these guys are not quite 100 stitches, I think, so they didn't quite lend themselves to it. But the term herding cats, let me do this in case my Wisconsin accent is confusing you. There's my title for it. When I was in a military training class, the commandant of the school showed us a video. It was a commercial from an IT firm, but it was the funniest damn thing. It was cowboys on their horses in the scrub herding groups of cats that were running through the desert. It was freaking hilarious, and it stuck with me. So when I wanted to name this one, that's what my brain popped up with. So whenever there's a floss bingo or a stitch and watch or something where this just kind of lends itself to, it gets more cats. And this is a massive piece of fabric, so I plan to just keep going with the cats until either I feel like it's done or I run out of fabric. So it's from a pattern that, this is what the original pattern looks like. It's called Hollow Cats, like Halloween cats. And so I just grabbed the pattern from there. It's a freebie from a website called Tokens and Trifles. So it's being stitched on a 32 count white Lugana, and that's pretty much all I have to say about it. It gets love whenever something calls for it. Oh, the next one. This one. This is my kingdom of books. Oh my gosh. Here is what it's gonna look like when it's done. It's monstrous. Okay, there we go. No glare in that direction. So I started in the center, so I'm working here, and then I think I'll work in one direction, and then I'll come back and work in the other direction. But alright, I am not taking it out of the Q-snap because you've seen it before. I have that upper part stitched. So one book here, the gate, and I've done some of the foreground, like the beachy, sidewalky type part, and then I've started on this book right here. So this one's just so cool, so cool, and I'm looking forward to just populating the books along. And I mean, this is one that is so good for prompts. It does lend itself to so many prompts, and I'm always excited to stitch on it. So let me find the card so I can tell you the details. It was a kit from mybobbin.com. It's being stitched on 32 count Lugana in Summer Sky. So my plan is, because it's basically full coverage in the main part of it, you'll just see the Summer Sky behind the books. I'm not stitching that plywood backer to it. I went off the fact that this looked like a summer sky here, and so I am making the backer on it Summer Sky. So that's my thinking. And that's going to mean a lot of stitches that I'm not going to be having to do, because it's a big in anyway, and there's a lot of stitches in the foreground that are being done because it looks like a street or a beach. So there it is, my kingdom of books. And the next one, he's probably gonna get some love this month for Bringo. It is my Mick Christmas. There he is. And it's by those people, Carried Cross Stitch. Do a Google search if you like this pattern. It's a merchant site that you can buy it from. And grab its card. I can talk about it. And here's where he's at. Oh, look at that. I'm ready. I'm almost ready to move. Actually, I probably should just move down because I can catch those stitches when I start working on the next part of his hat, because I am right above where, let me get the, so I'm pretty much right above where that heart starts. So I'm gonna move down so that I'll finish out the hat. And then I'll start on his nose, cute little nose and eyes, and then all of the beard. I'm kind of contemplating doing the beard in parking. I've tried parking, I like parking, so I might do that with it. So this is being stitched on 32 count Lugana in the color taupe, with all the called for DMCs, and there are so many colors in him. I think he might be good. I think it's a toss-up between him and Kingdom of Books for the most colors for the magical stitches. One of the January prompts is magical stitches. So I mean, he has so many colors. I keep the floss in a separate project bag. So all of that in there. There's 3 bags of envelopes. So I've separated them in yellow, greens, and aquas, blues, and browns, tans, and whites. There's a 4th bag. Where's my 4th bag? There it is. 4 bags for reds and purples. So that's how I've separated them out, and they have their own project bag because there's so many of them. So I'll have to count the colors to decide on, is he the most colorful or is Kingdom of Books the most colorful? Oh yeah, he's always fun. He's always fun to stitch on. He's such a cutie. So, love it. Alright, the next one is Night Walk Down. So I'll take her out of the Q-snap for this one. But first, let's give you a gander at what she looks like. And she's by the blue flower. This is one I've had trouble with. So I'm to the point where I am literally just gonna have to start picking my own colors, because I'm not happy with the colors that are called for. So there's where she is. So I'd done most of her body before I had to find a color for the skirt, because the original color was a limited edition. So I started that. I am not happy with this purple. It just doesn't seem right. Look at that purple flower next to her. There should not be that big of a difference between the two colors. So I gotta make decisions. And well, I had started on the cat. I got this much of his tail done, and my thread knotted to the point of I couldn't get the knot. I'm good at getting those knots undone. I am really good at it. This one was just, nope, not happening. So I cut the thread, I ended my thread, and he will get some stitches later on. So this one will get some love this year. It's going to be a time when I have a chance to sit down and make some choices. So, because it's a super pretty pattern, and I was so excited to start it. So let me find my card. There it is. It's being stitched on a 32 count Lugana by Color and Cotton called Desert Taupe. It has a kind of a pinky purplish, brownish, or beigeish overtone. Yeah, threads. I may try to keep track of what I choose. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. It got put down because I got frustrated with it. Now I'm feeling the need to get started on it again. This was started in May of 2020 for Stitch Mania 2020. So there. And I'm finding that she is really good at prompts. So that's gonna be a nice one. Once I get going on it, I get some decisions made, and I get some more progress. She's gonna be good. So prompts. Okay, so next one is my pink floppy, which I don't have a picture of. So let's write that down. Pink floppy. But it's literally just a floppy disk from dailycrossstitch.com. And I had started this one on 28 Lugana. I was doing it 1/1. And I just wasn't happy with it. So I have restarted it on this scrap of 32 count Picture This plus petals. So it's gonna be more of a 30 count rather than a 32. But so who knows, I might even restart it again. But this was started for a Magical Stitches prompt for Muggle studies. Because what's more Muggle than an old floppy disk? And then it was restarted for Bringo of last year. So, yep. So I'll have some decisions to make. We might start it on another fabric, or just push forward on its current fabric. Who knows? So I don't think, because I think I changed the project bag that it was in. So this is a project bag from Cricklewood Crossing, Jennifer Armstrong. I got to sit, she sat at our table at StitchCon, so I got to meet her, which is so cool because since I buy her bags, I got to meet her, and she is a delight. So, loving my flamingos. So when I start some flamingo patterns, I might have to steal this one from Pink Floppy. But this is a needle minder from also Cricklewood Crossing. I always want to say crinkle, but I have to remember it's crick, like a creek. Crickle Crossing. But I love her, and I'm excited to meet up with her again at the next retreat that she comes to. There's my Pink Floppy. And the last one in bucket 2 is my Pray by Teresa Kogut. She's so pretty. If you remember last time I said when I get to this part of her face, I think I'm going to replace those pinks with a slightly more subdued pink. Because I think that just doesn't quite work. So here's where I'm at on her. So got a good chunk done. It's starting to bring, now it's lots of confetti. This was a solid color, and so I'm working on all of the confetti. So who knows, I might start doing her start up here and start working with parking, given the sheer volume of confetti, but we'll see. Okay, so this is being stitched on Picture This Plus Legacy 32 count Lugana with all the called for DMCs. And it was started May of 2020 for Stitch Mania 2020. So she's so pretty. She has another angel that's in a blue-ish look to it. It's blue background, blue dress, I think, and I like that one too. I might have to start it. Alright, so we are starting on bucket 3, the last bucket. Alright, so this is my Scarecrow silhouette. This is from Just Cross Stitch Halloween 2015, and the pattern is actually much bigger. There's 3 scarecrows, but I decided to truncate it, and it will work perfectly for me. So apparently I took the Q-snap off at one point. So here is the progress I have. So I have finished all of the corn stalks, and I've moved over and started working on the scarecrow. So my plan is to outline him, and so then I can just do fill in. And then after he's done, I'll have to decide, there's a little moon, right there. I'm not sure if I want to stitch it or not, because this kind of gives me the feeling of a late, really low sunset, just about right before it goes, too dark to see kind of thing. So that's the feeling I get when I work on this one. So I might have to forego doing the moon. But this is being stitched on a 32 count Jobelin in Bittersweet Light. I got it from 123 Stitch. It's a printed variegation, so it's nice. Don't know if it's a Joblin or sorry, not Joblin. I don't know if it's a Wishelt or a Zweigart, but if you go to 123 Stitch, you should be able to find it there. So this was started October of 2020 for a magazine monthly challenge for October as something spooky. And what's more spooky than a rustly corn, dry corn stalks, and a creepy darn scarecrow. So that one is. Oh, lost one of my peels, so there it is, and this one can go in that way, in that empty bucket there. Alright, this one is my Silver Moon tea. I don't think she got any. Where's my? I have a list here. Not there. I think it's right here. I made a list of all of the projects that I touched this year, so then I also have a small list of, sorry, I'm just curious, you know, did I have any projects I didn't touch this year? And the answer is yes. So I didn't touch Herding Cats, I didn't touch Night Walk Down, I didn't touch Prey, Silver Moon Tea, Welcome Spring, or 0 Days. So let's throw those back there. But I'll show you what she's currently looking like. Actually, let me stick to my current formula. This is what she should look like when she's done. She is a Mirabilia pattern, and here she is so far. So I got most of the stitches, you know, so I just have to finish up these little stitches down here. My moon starts here, so I have to fill in all this space and work on the rest of her skin and hair and dress and all that. But and then the massive amount of beads that is on this project. But there she is. And I plan to do her skin 1/1. I gotta look if there's any blends, and that will make the decision whether I want to do a 1/1 full cross or a 2/1 tent. But she is being stitched on 32 count cream Lugana with the called for DMC 2/2. Started March of 2019 for a Magical Stitches prompt. I needed to stitch in brown thread, and there was brown thread in this one, and I also started it for the Mira retreat. I kind of figured it was befitting to be stitching on a Mira when I go to the Mira retreat, so she got started then. So and alright, this is a new start. So let's pull everything out so I can show you the No, it has a color. There's my color. Okay, so project bag first. This is a Blackbird fabric bag that I bought at Craft Gallery when I went to the Blackbird retreat there. Okay, so I have two bags. One was a gift from Carol, and my senior brain, I can't remember. I'm pretty sure this is the one I bought for myself at the store. You'll see the gift, the one she gifted me, in the finished parade, because that's where I have my other Blackbird project. So this is Eleanor Rigby from Blackbird Designs, and I'm actually doing something more along the lines of her Sweet Baby color variation. But I pulled the colors for this and I decided I didn't care for them, so I pulled my own colors. I chose my own colors. And pull the thread down and away. So this is how far I've gotten. So I have the planter done, and I have all the leaves done. Now I'm working on all of the flowers. And then I'm going to work on the border, and then I'll also knock out the little motif up here when the colors are being called for in the flowers. I do the motif as well. And it's so cute. I love that. I'm a little concerned. You know, I can see them now in this light. I can see the difference between this color and this color, but in my stitching spot, the light there, they don't have that much of a difference, but I can see it here. So very nice. And grime guard made by me. Needle minder is from the Rebel Stitcher. I bought it when I was at StitchCon. I couldn't pass up that little, so cute little bee. Adorable. Okay, so this is being stitched on 32 count taupe Lugana, and the colors I picked are Weeks Dye Works Hibiscus, Gast Baby Spinach, and Gast Hibiscus, and the rest are Classic Colorworks, and they're Eve's Leaves, Zac Black, and Strawberry Parfait. And I think those colors are working out beautifully. So this was started 22 September 2021. I started it at the Blackbird Retreat, and it is a sal with the my StitchCon and Stitchway crew. This past year at Stitchway, we kind of decided that we decided on a name for the crew, and we're calling ourselves the Stitching Misfits, because we are really a bunch of misfits, but they are awesome. Awesome. So there's my, and oh wait, because I am doing the Sweet Baby color variation but picking my own colors, I decided to call this, and I'm not doing a burst sampler, so I decided to call this Sweet Ellie. So a combination of Sweet Baby and Eleanor Rigby. So Sweet Ellie is what I've named it. So pretty. So, and this was my very first Blackbird. So there we are. Okay, the next one is my Through the Storm by Silver Creek Samplers. and this is what it will look like. And this is where I'm at. So there it is. It's got a little love this year, and I'm planning on giving it quite a bit more love this next year. So it's being stitched on 32 count Lugana in Vintage Stormy Night, because it's supposed to be a cloudy, rainy day. Thought that worked really well. And I'm stitching with the called for fancy floss, but I've had one change so far. I've substituted the gassed copper with gassed antique rose, and I think so. This color right here, I think it works really well. Copper just didn't. So I went through my stash, I found antique rose, and was very, very pleased with how it just goes with the other colors. So this was started August of 2020 for a magical stitches prompt, something with a duck. So, boom, ducks. This was in my wish, you know, what some pile of stuff I wanted to start, and because I needed a duck, I started it. So as you can see down here, that little pond with the date in it, I have to rechart that somehow. And then there's words there. So it's the initials. I don't know. So I have to figure out what I want to stitch in that space and along this space. But it's cute. So cute. And it's fun. It's a fun stitch. So I am excited to make some progress on her. Okay, so this is my tired trio. This was the last project that I was working on for finish that stitch December. So I didn't make it to the end, but I did. Okay, my thread is not. So here's my progress. All the flowers are done, all the leaves are done, branches are done. Sloths, the bodies are done, except for their dots and their faces and any backstitch that's in them. So there we are. Here they are. So I'm working on filling in the dots. So this one has its dots filled in. I'm kind of thinking I want to do the same color. Yep, I did the same color. So this was charted as the pink. This was actually charted in a kind of a green. It was the same as the leaves, and I didn't really like it, so I chose pink for that one as well. So I just have to do him and then do the faces. Those are 1/1. Little bit of backstitch, and then ooh, where's the pattern? I'll show you. My last thing I'm gonna do is the little bee right there. Little bee, tiny little bee. That's the last thing I'll do. So this will probably wait. I'm gonna have to count what stitches are left, so I know if there's enough stitches for a prompt. This one was good for any time I needed something with the letter I in it, because there's an insect in there. I is a difficult letter, so this one was nice to have with an insect in it. So there we go. Did I tell you? No, I didn't. I did not tell you stats. This was started, so okay, it's stitched on 32 count Lugana, color and cotton. The color is alabaster. It was a fabric, is it fabric of the month, or it's a piece I picked up at Stitch Away? I think so. I think I picked it up at Stitch Away. So far I'm using all the called for fancy floss. And started May 2020 for Stitch Mania 2020. That one's close. So it will be finished this year. Okay, this next one is my Welcome Spring. So here's what it would look like. It is by the Drawn Thread. And let's do a partial Q-snap removal so you can see what I've completed. So I have the O. I don't know. I always get this confused. So I started, that's the C, that's the O, this is the M, and this is going to be an E. So I need to finish the stitches that are in. I've already started the fancy stitches, specialty stitches that are in that basket. So this is one, you know, if I was not so much of a process stitcher, if I was a product stitcher, this would finish up quickly. But I am a process. Oh. Trying to get the Q-snap on the entire bulk of fabric, but it doesn't go over the entire bulk of fabric, it just goes over one layer. So then I'll quickly put the Q-snap back on. So this is being stitched, there it is, 32 count Lugana in taupe, and I made lots of changes with the colors. So when I finish, I'll probably do a rundown of the colors I used, but for right now I can say that I'm currently using a combination of DMC, Dinky Dyes, Weeks Dye Works, Classic Color Works, NPI, and Silken Colors. So some of it is being stitched in the called for, and some of it I changed. Some of it I tried to change and it didn't quite work, so I went back to the called for. So, did I do? Okay, so it's being, yeah, I said I started it first. I did those. Sorry. I'm getting a little discombobulated, but here's what I'm kind of keeping track of what I'm using and where it's being used and stuff like that. Okay, we've just got two more. This is my Winter Snow Owl. He is adorable. So here is what he's supposed to look like. And here's where I'm at. I have finished his head. His eyes and nose are stitched over one, so he looks awesome. So all I have left to do is there is snowflakes with a lot of beads in them around him, and I have procured the beads to do them. So he is being stitched on 32 count Picture This Plus Dwarf with all the called for DMCs and the one Mill Hill bead. And this was started Oh, the pattern is by Blackberry Lane Designs. And it was started May 2020 for Stitch Mania 2020. This is going to be a gift for my son since he loves barn owls. It's his favorite type of owl. So, booyah. So he'll get some love at some point this year and then get finished up. So there it is. And here's my last one for my WIPs. This one got called for WIP Go, so it will get some love this month. But this is a pattern I got off of Etsy. Is it Etsy? Yep. From a store called Modern Counts. And it's 0 days. That's what it's called, 0 days. So 0 days without sarcasm. This is going to be a gift from my husband because he takes sarcasm to an art form. Okay, so this is being stitched on 18 count white Aida with the Anchor 403, so Anchor Black 2/1, and it's just a simple little stitch. It was a nice one for it's a nice one for when I just need the color black. So it's gonna get 100 stitches this month because it got called for WIP Go, and that's what I'm being really kind to myself for WIP Go. I'm just saying I'm gonna put 100 stitches on the project because I'm starting a new job in January, and I don't want to over stress myself with my stitchy stuff. Okay, so that's where it is. Those are my 23 WIPs that I'm carrying over into 2022. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will prep my finishes video next. So happy stitching and take care. Hey guys, I'm back for just a little bit. I just realized I showed you the wrong things at one point. So this is the floss for Kingdom of Books. I figured since the books are houses, you know, house type structures, barns, it fit. So those were the colors for that. My mixed Christmas is one bag for purples and the face, one bag for all the grays, and another bag for reds and oranges. So, alright, so I'll put this in either at the end, or I just felt the need to correct myself.